Hey everyone, Jason Camps again here with C Squared Racing. Thanks for joining us one more time for another video. If you're not already subscribing to the channel, please do so because you'll find more of this helpful content and more blurry photos of me. Thank you, phone. We don't have a cool camera setup here. I'm recording all these videos on a phone, a nice phone, but still a phone. So I apologize sometimes if the lighting's not wonderful or if the focus goes in and out. But once again, we're here coming from Indianapolis, our home. And today I wanted to talk a little bit, some basic guidelines about social media. Social media for grassroots motorsports racers is a really invaluable marketing tool because it doesn't cost us anything usually. Certainly, the more in depth you get with it, you can start to do paid promotions and things like that. But just to start out with, the accounts are free, so it's a really great place to start, and it's a really great way for you to reach a very broad market. We're followed by people all over the world, and we didn't have to take out expensive radio or television ads to do it. So it's a really useful resource, but it's also a minefield because it's so easy to get into. It's also easy to make a lot of mistakes. A lot of the stuff is very common sense. You always hear people talk about, think twice before you hit send. A lot of very famous people, pro athletes, have this issue, but it's even more important for those of us that are not highly paid professional athletes because we can't get away with as much stuff. So it's for people who want to promote themselves on social media and who want to put themselves out there in the public eye, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of those, YouTube. One thing that's important is always imagine how your content is going to be perceived by somebody who you're hoping to do business with, and whether or not it's consistent with what they want to promote in terms of their identity. So when you are out there looking for sponsorship, for instance, you're asking companies to let you represent their brand, and they're going to look to see how you represent yourself. And if you don't represent yourself well, if you're not respectful, if you're not clean in your language, things like that, they're not going to want you to represent their brand either. We've all got our private, accounts where we like to express our genuine thoughts, things like that. That's fine. It's okay to have those privately. But if you have a public account, something that everyone's going to see, something that you're going to promote to companies or to fans or your colleagues, be very careful about the content you put on there. And it's easy, obviously, stuff that's, you don't want to post anything that's really overtly offensive, avoid hot topics like politics, religion, things like that are going to potentially alienate some people. But even things like just humor, it's good to be humorous. It's good to have a sense of humor and to let people know you have a sense of humor. But keep in mind, if your humor tends to be very dry and very blue, your humor may not be marketable, and so you want to be careful. We've run into some folks that that we've worked with where some of the stuff on their social media pages needed to be tidied up a bit. It's fine if you're not trying to do business deals, but if you're out there trying to get a Fortune 500 company to make you a brand ambassador, it's not going to happen with that kind of content because you're just not representing their values. So you have to make sure not to do anything that's going to alienate anyone, obviously not to offend anyone, but just anything that might come off as being disrespectful. If you're crapping on a certain brand that might be a potential sponsor, or that company might also want to market to that demographic, you don't want to remove yourself from that demographic. So things like that. A lot of it's common sense, but a lot of it sometimes just takes an extra bit of thought to think to yourself, as I post something, how is this going to be perceived, and is there any way that this could possibly upset someone? And I know there's a lot of people out there that think that we're too PC in our culture and that people are too sensitive. I'm not going to comment on whether or not I think that's true, but the bottom line is, if you're out there trying to form business relationships with people, it's just the reality of what you're going to have to deal with. And if you want to get on your soapbox about political correctness, that's fine, but be prepared that organizations may not want to work with you if you're not consistent with their brand values. So things like that. Like I said, a lot of that stuff kind of seems obvious, but it's something that even I sometimes have to check myself with and question whether or not I really want to hit send on a particular post. So we don't want to upset fans. We definitely don't want to upset sponsors. We want to do right by all those folks, and we want to present ourselves as inclusive, good people that everyone wants to work with and follow and be fans of and things like that. So just remember, think about all this stuff before you hit send. If you're setting up your social media profiles, keep in mind, pay attention to who's going to be viewing it, who you want to be viewing it, and always be, thinking, about the face that you're putting forward and how that's going to be perceived. So hopefully that's a helpful tip. Check back later. Like I said, we're going to try and have more videos like this with useful advice. So if you haven't already, as I said before, subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll know when we post something new. So you can also hit the little bell to actually get a notification. I know if you're like me, you subscribe to 50 different channels and you don't want 50 different notifications, so that's okay. But it does help to subscribe so that you know when stuff's going to get posted. We're going to try and post every week or two. We, this time of the year, off season, we don't have a ton of content to talk about because there's not a lot going on, and the things that are going on we can't always talk about. But we are going to try and post every week or two with something like this that we think is useful for people to hear. So, and if you want more of this advice or you want to know more about it, get more help, go ahead and contact us. Shoot me a DM through our Instagram or Facebook page. You can contact me on Twitter at Jason Camps. And, we'd love to, hear your story and work with you and help you get started. And, maybe if things work out, you can, end up joining the team. So check that out. Look us up, see if we can help you. If we can, love to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the next lap and see you in the next video. Thanks, everyone.